Hello and I want to welcome you to Chapter 6, Section 2, or 6.2, Linear Equations in One Variable. So these are going to be the guided answers to problem sets found in the notes for 6.2. So let's get started. Okay, first, your problem set 1 is going to say simplify the expression by combining like terms. So we have, for number 1, 5x plus 3x. So the goal of this is to combine things that have only like terms. So that means things for this first set that has x with just the variable, the expression just x. So we have 5x, and we're going to look through the rest of the expression to find anything else that has just a plain x in it as well. So if we look, 5x and 3x combine to give us 8x, and that is the answer for that problem. Okay, if we look a little bit deeper here, let's see, for number 2 we have negative 6x plus 2x plus 21. So if we, looks like we're going to have some x's and then just some plain number values that have no variables attached to them. So if we look, looks like these two share the common terms. So negative 6x plus 2x, negative 6 plus 2 gives us a negative 4. Let's attach the variable, and then we just write plus 21 because 21 cannot be combined with anything else. It does not share similar terms. Okay, if we look at 3, it looks like it's a bit more complicated. We have 6 times the quantity r minus 3. Then that's going to be subtracted by 2 times r plus 5, that quantity, plus 10. So what I want to do is use the distributive property, and I want to first take the 6 and multiply it by everything inside the parentheses. So let's do that. So 6 times r plus 6 times negative 3. Okay, now what I want to do is take this negative 2, I want to leave that negative 2, and I'm use the distributive property to bring it to everything inside the parentheses. So we have that. We have negative 2 times r minus 2 times a positive 5, and then let's just bring that plus 10 down. So if we go through and simplify, 6 times r is just 6r. Then we have 6 times negative 3, that's going to give us a negative 18. Negative 2 times r is just negative 2r. Negative 2 times 5 is a negative 10 plus 10. Okay. So if we go through and look for similar terms, we see that 6r, negative 2r are going to have similar terms. And it looks like negative 18 minus 10 plus 10 are going to share similar terms there. So let's bring the r's together. 6r minus 2r, that's going to be 4r. Okay, negative 18 minus 10 plus 10, well, that's just going to leave us with a negative 18. Okay, so that's going to be for those kind of problem sets and examples. Now if we look at strategies for solving linear equations, please pause the video now to review the steps or refer to the notes or textbooks. Alright, so let's get started by looking at some examples. What these are going to look like is you're going to have one variable, just an x or a y or something like that, and you're going to have an equal sign, making it an equation. So what we're doing is just solving for what value x has to equal. Right, so first we have to start working away from the variable, so we need to subtract 6 on both sides. Since it's adding, we have to do the inverse operation or the opposite, so that's why I use the subtraction. So 12 minus 6 is just 6, equals. Over here we have 3x, we didn't do anything to it, so we just bring it on down. And over here that's going to go to 0, because that's what we were aiming to do. Now to get x by itself, divide by 3 on both sides, because 3 is being multiplied by the variable x. And to do it, to get the 3 away from the x, we have to do the inverse or opposite operation of multiplication, which is division. Over here, these three are going to go to 1, or just leaving you with x on the right side. Over here we have 6 divided by 3, or just 2. Okay, we're getting a bit more lengthy with our problems, so we're going to get all the variables on one side of the equation and all the regular numbers on the other side. Since I don't want to really work with negatives today, I want to move the lesser value to the other side. So working right here, if I move this 6 over here, I can subtract on both sides, and it's going to leave me with a positive 2. So let's do that. So we're subtracting 6 on both sides. This is going to leave us with 0. I'm going to bring down our negative 7 that we did nothing to. 8x minus 6x is 2x. To bring down that 9, because we didn't do anything with it. Now we're aiming to get this x by itself, and to do it we have to start working away from it. So let's subtract 9, or the inverse operation of this addition. Do the opposite to get it away from the variable. So right here, negative 7 minus 9, that leaves you with a negative 16. Bring down the 2x. Finally, to get x by itself, we had to do the opposite of what's going on. It's being multiplied, the 2 and the x are being multiplied, so we have to do the opposite of that, which is division. So we have to divide by 2 on both sides. So that's going to leave you with negative 16 divided by 2, or negative 8 equals x. And finally, we're going to have a bit lengthier of a problem that has 2 times the quantity r plus 3 minus 4 equals 2 times the quantity r minus 4. So let's first, by using the distributive property and taking this 2 and multiplying it by everything inside the parentheses. So we have 2 times r plus 2 times 3. Then just bring that minus 4 down since we didn't do anything with it. And over here, let's take this 2 and multiply it by everything found inside this set of parentheses. So we have 2 times r plus 2 times a negative 4. Let's go through and simplify. So 2 times r is 2r plus 2 times 3, which is 6, minus 4, because we just brought the negative 4 down. So we have 2r. 2 times r is just 2r. Okay, and then plus 2 times a negative 4, that just gives you a negative 8. Because positive times a negative gives you a negative. Okay, so let's work by getting the variables alone. Let's bring all the r's to the left side of the equation. So let's subtract r, 2r on both sides. Because if you notice, right here it's just a positive, so it's the opposite, which is negative. And what's going to happen? It's just going to go to 0, and this will go to 0, so it leaves you with 6 minus 4 equals a negative 8, because 2r minus 2r gives you 0 on both sides of the equation. And what happens when we simplify? 6 minus 4, that equals 2, equals a negative 8. And does 2 ever equal a negative 8? No. So that is a false statement, meaning this has no solution. If the answer had been something like negative 8 equals negative 8, we would have said that the solution has infinitely many solutions. If the same number equals each other on the same side of the equation, it has infinitely many solutions. But if it does not, it only has no solution. And I'll jot that down right here. So 8 equals 8. If that's your answer, give infinitely many solutions.